too, or am I just going to be looking at this?
Oh no, we're live, and your video is up in the corner. Um, can you see my screen right now?
I cannot.
Oh, it's one way. Okay. Well, I'm streaming.
Oh, I see you. Okay, whatever.
Okay. Hopefully, yeah,
That's
you can
fine.
just have Skype up, and we'll do that. All right, we're live, guys. Welcome everybody. All 11 concurrent viewers. Oh my God, we're famous. I think we officially made it. I'm here with Firebun. For those of you that don't know, Firebun made hex.vision along with uniswap.hex.vision, which is basically the chart that we all love looking at. So I've already done an introduction video yesterday, but maybe we can just have you start off with a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Yeah. So, what's up, guys? My name's Sam. Um, Software dev. Been doing it for probably I don't know 5 years now. Um, Primarily do like software consulting, but I've been developing just kind of random projects for a while. Uh, I worked on the Arc community open source project for a little bit. I don't know if you know what that is, Matt. Have you heard of Arc? We passed them a while
No,
ago.
I haven't.
They kind of, yeah, it was a delegated proof of stake network. They had a decent bounty program, so I kind of just was in there for a little while, like helping with pull requests, and I got a few bounties myself.
Nice.
So yeah, I did that for a little bit. But the difference between that and Hex is I would get paid in ARC and I would sell it immediately for
Okay.
cash. Um, but with Hex, only hold.
There we go. Yeah, it's sorry, I was just switching into headphones. Are we all good now with the
Okay.
audio? If we're all right in the chat, just let me know. But yeah. With all the other coins, there's really nothing preventing you from just selling them, right? There's no incentive to hold them. And
It wasn't even that really. It was just I the USD was more important to me than the token itself. And that's just not the case with Hex because uh, I think Hex is an opportunity at this point in time, unlike anything that I've seen previously.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've tried to attack it from every angle and just think of what could possibly go wrong. And like, the more I think about it, the less worried I become. Like, the more confident I become in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you built this tool, which is awesome. I've never really heard of Kabana before you built it. So you're a developer. Did this take like a lot of development work, or is this like a out of the box tool?
Well, it's a lot of out of the box because like the visualizations and all of that can be done just with whatever data you have available. The time consuming part was, well, at first I decided I wanted to do it and I was like, okay, how do I get data from Ethereum?
Mm,
So I actually hit up G, Ju, the jujitsu dude that did one of those, the
yeah,
website at the start.
Hexstat. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So he gave me some information on like how to query the stuff. I converted that. So he was using JavaScript or something, but I use C sharp. Um, so I know how to like deploy small units of code. So I knew once I was able to get the information I needed, I'd be able to store it and visualize it how I wanted. But the website itself probably took me maybe 3 weeks to get entirely off the ground. Um, the primary hurdle was actually just making it like have a nice name. Funny enough, like I was able to deploy it so early on, but it was like abcxyz dot Azure East 2.
Oh God,
So I had to figure out how to get hex.vision in front of it, and that actually took the longest, surprisingly. Like it seems like such an unimportant aspect.
dude, it always is the little things that you get hung up on. But yeah, it's got its own query language, KQL. It took me a while to figure out. Like, I spent so long one time just trying to realize that like when you enter Ethereum addresses in there, you have to enter them in all lowercase. So I was like,
Oh yeah,
what the hell? It's not working. And then I was like,
yeah.
oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, there's some quirks to it for sure. I actually updated it so it has to be an exact match when you run the queries for those addresses now. It doesn't have to be lowercase, which is an enhancement for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Um,
That's good.
but I couldn't be bothered to figure out. There are trade-offs for having queries that are something different than exact match. And in this case, it just didn't really make sense for me to you have to kind of start from the top and like reindex all the data. It's a hassle.
Hmm.
So it works good enough as it is, in my opinion.
Cool. Yeah. What do you think about? I love like the all the important stats are right on the homepage, right? So 77,000 unique addresses. You can see how many people per day. Like AA totals 8,600 unique people in the adoption amplifier. 11,000. I mean, unique stake addresses. These are probably closer to real users because how many people split up their stake addresses? Probably only a few. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
we've got like 10,000 real people staking. Um, what do you think about? And I ask this to like everybody, but what do you think about the total supply locked percent at 26? Because I know that went from like 80 or 90 down to 26.7.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I don't really think it's anything to be concerned about. But like, what's your reasoning behind how that went to from there to there?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty clear why it's there. Like it's for market cap,
Yeah,
straight up. So it wasn't really a concern to me. I mean, the way that I think about this is like a complex game with a lot of incentives to promote the project. And one of the interesting things about it is we have like massive whales on our team. And this is an example of how we are using that to our advantage
yeah,
for Hex. And that's why I have no concerns about. I don't really keep that close of an eye on it at the moment. Um, what it does mean probably is and I don't know if we want to get into this, but what I kind of suspect will happen is we have a low amount of lock supply, and I think that'll likely change as we start going into big payday. Um, but we're using it to our advantage right now to get up the market cap, and I think at some point there's going to be instead of all of the tokens just going straight into that circulating supply repeatedly when the adoption amplifier closes, I suspect we'll start seeing that taper off into a staked supply over time.
yeah. That's exactly my thought too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's great that it's able to raise the circulating supply, but then like as we get closer, everybody wants their big payday bonus, right? So I think the what's on paper right now for big payday rewards is going to go down. But that's
Yep.
okay because you need to bring people here first to buy it. So it's like
Right.
bootstrapping adoption, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. The big payday is very interesting. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to play out. For me, I'm not really like making any plays around it. I'm just staking. So,
yeah,
yeah. So we'll see how that goes, but
yeah, that's
it'll be very interesting, and I think it'll be really volatile around that time with high uncertainty about what will happen.
for sure. Yeah, personally, I'm keeping 10% of my stack unstaked, just to
Hmm.
play around with it. But like the more closer we get, the less I know about what's going to happen,
Hmm.
and so um, I don't think there'd be any problem in just staking my last 10% as well. Like it might even save me from making a mistake, so I can't touch it.
Yeah.
Um, but it was my thought that it would just pump before, and then some people would dump their free coins on the market,
Yeah.
which makes sense logically. But like you never know because like anything can happen with these stats.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting, and I haven't looked at it again lately, um, but I was curious what amount of Bitcoin free claimers were then translated into adoption amplifier participants, and it was something like 40%.
Wow.
So I don't think all of those free coins are just going to be dumped immediately. I think we'll see some of them get restaked for a longer period.
Yeah.
So that's just something to keep in mind with all of those things unlocking
Yeah. I mean,
all the tokens.
especially like somebody coming into Hex that's relatively new, and they look back on the past year of history and they see it's gone up, 10x, 50x, whatever it is at the time. Um, Staking is going to make sense to them in their head because they're going to say, "Oh, I want more of that. I want more of that pump. Like I don't want to just dump all this
Mm,
stuff. If this goes up and to the right, and that's like all it does, like I'm gonna stake it because,
Hmm.
you know, chances are if you're in crypto, you can afford to wait a little bit. Like if you're experimenting with risky investments like this, like you can probably afford to lock up your coins. It's just that most people have the attention span of like an ant and just can't do that. So this force, like, it makes it stupid proof. Um, and for me too, like I'm prone to emotions just like everyone else, right? So I'm not trying to
Hmm.
say I'm smarter or better than everyone. Um, so you built this thing. What's your
Hmm.
favorite? Do you have like a favorite dashboard? Favorite stat?
Um, my favorite stat, probably the hex penalties page,
The
honestly. I love so
wall of shame.
the, it's just a beautiful thing, you know. When the price goes down, you can still get paid
Mm-hmm.
in this system, and that's I think that's awesome. Um,
It is.
the other thing, which I actually so there are some things that I keep private on there.
Okay.
And I kind of like to just so part of it's like origin address related, just so I can see like the movement generally
Mm-hmm.
of what's happening. And
Yeah.
you know, but the thing about it is when I initially started tracking that kind of stuff, it was like because I wanted to profit from the system, but now it's more like I just kind of want it to succeed. So, I'm just like trying to help how I can. And it honestly feels like it's going to be hard for me to take money out of it because who knows when the time is right. But I think for us early people that are in right now, part of my plan is like when it comes time to sell, do it in such a way that it like doesn't impact anything. Just like over time, little chunks, just send them out there. We're not. I I don't think it's a good idea to do it in such a way that it, like you're dumping on other people
Yeah.
in Hex. Uh, because like anything that you take out of the system, you're taking out from everyone basically. It's like a little piece of everyone's bag if you just eject from the system.
Right.
Um,
Right. It's meant to be a
so
gradual process over time. What's
mhm.
going on, Litecoin Moses? And we got Talk Hacks, Vince Chang, Nick. Got a good chat going on.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, if you came late, this is Firebun. He makes cool shit. Are you what are you primarily developing in your day to day?
C
C
sharp.
sharp.
I'm an Azure fanboy these
Okay.
days. I was in AWS for a while. So some other some other projects that I've worked on were in AWS. For a little while back in 2017, when I first got interested in crypto, I was like, man, I'm gonna get some mad gains, right? Like everyone else. But the way that I went about it was I started tracking things like a ton of metrics. I was tracking like Reddit subscribers, Reddit posts and comments, and Twitter. I was tweets, uh, people that were following Twitter. I mean, those are like pretty general things. But I also got into some of the next level stuff where it's like in AWS they have something called Amazon. I think it's Comprehend. I think
Yeah.
that's what it's
Oh, I know
called.
that. It's
But
the recognition, facial recognition.
yeah, you sentiment analysis.
Oh
So
yeah. They also have something
I
called
was at
Recognize too, which is like
yeah.
video recognition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I was using Comprehend at the time, and I would send it like 30,000 tweets per hour to get the sentiment on it,
Wow.
and it would give you like it'd give you a sentiment score on like how certain it was that it was either a positive or neutral sentiment. Um,
Wow.
but I was like kind of just like real. I mean, I didn't have a lot of money to run that, and it was like to run it for a day, it cost me like
Oh
$170.
my god.
So it was a very short-lived project when it comes to the sentiment analysis, and I never really got to see any profit out of it. But like
Yeah, that's something that like
that's
high frequency or like professional traders would be doing. Like you probably need the resources of a company to do that right, but it's a great idea. Like
uh,
scraping Twitter for like words that are good or bad. I mean,
yeah. Well, the sad thing about it too is there's so much spam. I'd say like probably 35% of what I paid for to get sentiment on was like BTC up 5% exclamation with rocket symbols or something
oh
like
yeah,
that.
rocket emojis versus like other
Yeah.
emojis.
there was like just so much stuff that was just noise that was going through there, and I was paying like, you know, I could have been buying tokens with that instead.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, hey guys. Quick message for chat. We got a guy in chat. His name is Marty. He's a noob, and he wants to know how is Hex different than other coins. If you guys could teach him and learn him up, that'd be awesome because we can potentially have another buyer right here. I just don't have time to start from the beginning. I'm assuming our audience kind of knows a little bit already, but everybody tell Marty why Hex is so good. Um, yeah, I love that. He's a friend of mine that's like just started watching. Hopefully he'll join the cult. Who knows?
yeah, Marty, all you need to know is Matt and I here. We got your back. All right, we'll do you right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about this one. Like, I this is the most interesting thing I've seen in crypto in years, really.
Hmm.
Um,
Same.
but yeah,
Yeah. So I I was listening to your video yesterday, and it was like the story of my life, basically. Get in at 2017. I grew my stack up, obviously, because like all you had to do was buy anything and like throw a dart at a board, and you'd get like a decent amount of
oh yeah,
profit. Um, but I learned about this thing called leverage trading,
hmm
and it was working pretty well until the price started doing things that weren't up. Uh,
yeah,
so I kind of got blown out of the water a couple times, but that was just like a learning experience. And that's like, you you have an appetite for risk, and the leverage slider gets a lot easier to move around once you've like just been on the site. Either you're doing well or you're doing poorly, and that leverage slider can, man, it's just too easy to slide to the right. Uh, so I had an experience with that. And that kind of led into like I got really deep into like learning how to trade. I listened. I don't know if you've heard of the Chat with Traders podcast, but that one's like
yeah,
really great.
yeah. I followed that one.
Uh, so I listened to a ton of those, and I was trying to just extract strategies out of
hmm
there. Um, and I learned how to backtest using Quant Connect. If you've heard of that before,
No, I haven't.
I know you were talking about TradingView and PineScript, so I wasn't sure if you were familiar. It's like a beefier version of that, basically. With with TradingView, I wrote some strategies, but it's like token or ticker specific.
hmm
So this the strategy is like the back testing isn't really robust. It only goes back like however many bars you can load into the view. Um, but with Quant Connect, it's like there are so many different things. They're like modules of like, okay, first you have your universe selection, and that would be like there are an infinite, I mean, maybe not infinite, but all of the stocks that are available to be traded. That would be your universe. And then you would just like apply a filter across that. That's like, how do you pick the ones that might be winners? And it's like a coarse grain filter. Um, and then you just like try to apply your strategy on top of that universe of selected stocks or cryptos or whatever.
Wow.
Uh, so I got really into it, but man, what it made me learn is like trading is not easy. Um,
Yeah.
I like based on the project or on Chat with Traders and like Market Wizards, if you've read that book,
hmm
there are a lot of people with success stories. So I know it's possible. And then you like go back to the history of like how trading went from paper to electronic, and there were a ton of inefficiencies.
Yeah, man.
So I know something is out, like there are things out there that we could profit from, but I mean, do you really want to spend that much time to like just try and beat somebody else for the money? Like
Exactly.
that's kind of where I got to. It was like, okay, I know the level of effort that's required now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it exceeds what I'm willing to do to take somebody else's money.
Yeah. And then hearing Richard Hart say that too, it's like, yeah, that's all you're doing is like you're trying to steal someone else's money. It's a zero sum game. But one of
Hmm.
the strategies that I was really like fascinated by was arbitrage for a while, like triangular arbitrage, I think it was called. So like you would basically compare the price of a pair on three different exchanges, and or you could do it all on one exchange too if there was a triangle pair, and you could say like when A over B times B over C times C over A is greater than one, there's obviously an inefficiency that can be exploited. So you sell A, You buy B, you sell B for C, and then you sell C for A. And then you basically like have an infinite loop of money. Really easy to explain, really hard to execute because you need to like get in really fast on all these things, and I
Hmm.
just didn't have the resources to do that. Or another one I think was like moving average crossovers on different time frames. So
Okay.
it was like if the moving average, if like the golden cross happens on the 30-minute candle,
Uh,
then buy on the like the hourly or the daily or something like that,
uh-huh.
and like you get in front of like a swing trade kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there, yeah, that sounds like a similar strategy that I tried.
Yeah,
Um, something that so you have your moving average crossovers. That's like the hello world of automated trading.
yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
that's like your entry
yep,
point. But like when you start adding different time frames, that kind of mixes things up a little bit.
yeah,
Um, one thing that I, I I still think this might be a viable strategy, but trading inside, you want to trade inside. If you're a trend following strategy, you want to trade following the trend. So you kind of identify like the trend that you're trading inside of. So like if you're looking at a 4 hour chart, um, maybe you're looking that for the 1 day chart to have a moving average that's has a derivative greater than one, meaning it's like going up, right?
hmm,
So like I had built a strategy that would like look at the time frame above the one that I was actually trying to trade to confirm that the trend is in my favor. Um, man, it's just you can try all of these things, but you'll find out that there are specific cases that the strategy just won't work.
yeah, and the
And
drawdown is like way too big.
and when you account for those scenarios, um, when you account for those scenarios, then you end up with an over optimized strategy that's only going to work against historical data.
Yeah, for sure. Michelle Burrows wants to know what should one do when your stake is up? Should you restake it or what? Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you there. Like, I guess it depends on the price and then your own financial circumstance at the time. Like, if you need some money and you've already made 100x, 1000x, maybe take a little off the top and restake. I mean, that sounds like what I might end up doing. Just kind of have a perpetual stake that it's never ending, right? Like always
Mhm.
stake some of what I unstake. But I mean, at some point, you do have to think about, what do you want the money for? Like, why do you want the
Right.
money? Like,
What's the exit strategy?
yeah, yeah,
And when you pick your stakes, like typically you're setting up an exit strategy ahead of time.
hmm,
But if things change between when you open the stake and like current time, then your exit strategy might vary. Uh, so I don't know. I mean, a decent thing to consider is just like if you're up a certain amount of X, maybe you take your initial investment on the stake off the table and like just send the rest or something like that. But yeah, it really varies by like what your financial needs are.
yeah. I mean, I've got stuff expiring personally, like from between 2021 and 2023, I've got stuff expiring like every month. And then after that, I've got a small one expiring every year just because I think it'll be nice to like in a perfect world and everything goes great for us, like it's like getting a yearly salary like every
Mhm.
year just for nothing. And then
Yeah.
I've got one for the longest possible term, 5,555 days. So I just did that, to join the club. Um, 15 years is a long time. But
Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
I mean, you're sending a message though, right? Like
Yeah.
you're like, I think this will succeed and I'm going to go full send, full length,
Mhm.
uh, and join the club.
Yeah.
I actually haven't done that yet, but I do have a 10 year.
Oh, dude, you got
Um,
to do it.
so I'm good. You're right. I gotta send it.
You just gotta. Yeah, man. I mean, look at like so. What you're looking at on the screen, guys, is like this is the Uniswap chart, and all it took to get us like double in price like that was I think $12 million, which sounds like a lot, but when you look at that in terms of like institutional traders and like real big players, it's just like one rich guy made one single purchase and like bought the price up two times. So this,
Wait, was it? Sorry to interrupt, but was it 1 point? I mean, it was 10,000 ETH.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm off on the
So
number.
1.8, like 1.85 or so million.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad at
So way
all.
less than what I said. $1.5 million, double the price.
Yeah, 1.8.
1.8. But that's the magic of this thing
Yeah,
is like with such a low relatively market cap, like it doesn't take a whole lot of energy to move this up. So I think you could see stuff like this over and over again until we get into like the 1 cent range or whatever.
mhm.
Yeah. Stop looking at selling a penny. Okay, well, someone's talking about BitConnect. This is not like BitConnect, guys. So BitConnect was a scam. For those that don't know, they claimed they had an automated kind of trading strategy that would just you put in your money, we run our strategy. You don't get to see what it is, but we have it. Trust us, and we'll pay you out at the end of a term. Um, but it was totally like trusting a middleman. Like it didn't make any sense. With Hex, you're just locking your tokens up in a smart contract that's been audited and verified. Um, I mean, you've got so many people working on it. The reason I like it so much is like one of the many reasons is all the people that are contributing that aren't like the creator. So like I'm doing my part, just trying to start a YouTube channel, and I got an ad campaign going. But everybody is like doing a little bit, and it just makes it an awesome place. So there's no community like this. It's not like BitConnect at all. Um, yeah. Pros of different stakes ending a month apart versus getting the bigger pays better. So for the bigger pays better bonus, I don't know about you, Firebun, but like I don't have the financial means to really benefit from that. Because in order for bigger pays better to work, don't you need like 10 million or something?
um, I didn't know there was a lower limit to the bigger pays better. But I know the upper bound is 150 million hex.
Okay.
So you don't want to, if you have over 150 million, I think you break it into 150 million. Actually, I don't know that it matters because you'll get that same bigger pays better bonus. Um, one thing that exists though, and I haven't tried it, is there's that pools. I think like Swift. I think Swift Salamander in the chat created it, but it pools together people's. So you enter the pool, and then it'll send off the stake
Yeah.
once the pool has filled to 150 million. And then there are different pools depending on how long you want to stake. So like I think there's a 365, a 3,650 day one, and maybe something else in between.
Yeah. So I got that pulled up right now. It's called hexpool.win. So if you want to benefit from that bonus, basically in Hex there's a bigger pays better bonus. If you stake up bigger chunks of money and let it ride, then you get more interest. But not a lot of people can do that because there's kind of I mean, not everyone is a big whale, right? So if you want to pair up and basically buddy up with other people, it's like everyone's pooling their stake together, almost like a mining pool, but this is a staking pool. And so the contract guarantees that you get whatever proportion you put in back out at the end of the stake term. But the benefit is that you get a lot more interest because you have a much bigger stake. So I think it's live. I think it's like something you could go
Yeah,
to.
it's definitely
Yeah.
live. I'm not sure if they've sent off any pools yet though, or if it's still filling up. And I think that's kind of one of the drawbacks is if you do send money into the, and I don't know if there's ways to like prematurely end the pool before it starts, uh, but I don't think the stake will get kicked off until the pool is filled. Um, so that's something to keep in mind is how filled up it is because your stake might not actually start for a little while,
Yeah.
from my understanding.
Yeah. You need people to use it. You probably should audit the contract too, just to make sure they're not
Mm.
ripping you off. But because you never know.
Yeah, like I trust him, but trust but verify.
A-
Anyways,
Absolutely. Yeah. So when did you get involved in crypto? You said 2017.
yeah, 2017. I think I got some Litecoin at around like $25. And I was stacking Litecoin for a little while. I mean, I kind of just started with Litecoin and Bitcoin. Um, and I was like really into it. I was like reading the white papers and stuff of different
Mm-hmm.
currencies. I was in Vertcoin for a little
Me
bit.
too. Oh, funny story. Sorry,
Yeah.
side story about Vertcoin. I tried mining that
Oh, go
on
ahead.
Azure, using like Microsoft Azure's like blockchain stuff, because they would set up like a whole
Uh,
blockchain for you or whatever. And
uh,
I tried mining on their Vertcoin, and then I got banned in like the first week because they realized what I was trying to do. so,
oh
so
my gosh, I didn't
I made
even.
like $10 of Vertcoin, and then I got banned.
Oh,
so,
geez. Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be the next coin for sure. It's like good distributed mining. That's great. Gonna make so much profit. It's the best thing. But I mean, they've gotten like 51% attacked a few times now, if I recall.
hmm
And they kind of just drifted off into the ether of
I
dying
know.
stars.
I got a actual question that brought up. How do you avoid like shiny object syndrome in crypto? Because there's new stuff coming out all the time. A lot of it makes wild claims. That's like, I'm gonna get you rich in a year. Like this thing is going to the moon. How do you filter the bullshit and the noise?
Um, so, I mean, I'll just talk through the phases, right? So first you start off, you're looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and those are like that's your entry point, right? Then after a while, you're like, whoa, all these other coins are popping off, but they're and you don't know anything about them, but you pull up their website and it looks good, and maybe you get in on it. That was the phase that I went to through in 2017, and I mean, it wasn't a bad strategy. I mean, everything was pretty much profitable in 2017. Uh, but once things started to go downhill, I mean, I had wrecked myself enough times trying to margin trade on BitMEX that I kind of just stepped away for a while.
hmm
Um, I did have like pretty significant success as well doing that. But I was able to like actually just like pay off all my debts and just walk
That's
away.
awesome.
Uh,
Congrats.
yeah, so that was nice. But once things cooled down, I didn't really look at any cryptos for a while. I followed Richard Hart for a long time just because he's just a really smart dude and just he's just really smart, dude. So I followed him and I knew Hex was coming out. And even when it came out, I think I got in on day three and like the price just like kept going down. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Day two for
honestly,
me.
I wasn't that excited at the start. But then I started doing more research and I like read through the contract and I don't really know what switched. There was a point that I was like, I don't know if this project is right for me. And one of the community members actually reached out to me and he was just like talking to me and he like kept me on board. And I don't know, there was just like a time where it was like, this might actually be the highest probability of a moonshot that I've got available. It and like maybe forever.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's like, and you sound like such a
um,
scammer saying this is the opportunity of a lifetime, because that's what every scammer says. Like, that's what every Ponzi scheme says. So, it it really does sound too good to be true. But I mean, the more you try to attack
I
it,
mean
like there's no way that I can.
it the system is very powerful. And I think we're only just starting to see what it's going to do. Uh, so and that's why like I mean I've invested a lot of time and I've obviously have my own money invested in it, but I mean I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So I mean I'm 2, 3, 5, and 10 years out. So
Nice.
I think the system has a really good probability of having some massive returns. And that doesn't mean like it's not risky. It's very risky. I think it's like similar to like taking like a 20 to 1 leverage trade, basically. But the thing to think about is your money can go from 1 to 0, or it can multiply multiple times over.
Yeah.
And at this point, I mean, we're in like the tens of X's. So I think the odds are pretty good that, things will be okay for some of us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I even bought I keep buying the top because I can't buy the fucking dip because there's never any dips with Hex.
Yeah.
I'm like, I keep waiting for like a good time to buy, and
The thing about it is you buy the top and then there's another
I know,
top.
I know. So I bought the top yesterday, guys. I put another big chunk of money in. Um, So don't feel bad if you're buying the top. Like, I don't know. The best time to buy was always
Nobody
yesterday.
knows. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we, in my opinion, we have multiple X's left to go. I mean, I think we're really just starting, personally.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Um,
140 days into the project. So that's like 4 months and change. Almost 5 months. But, like, what other project do you know that made it to the number 38 on all out of all coins in less than 5 months? So
mhm,
the thing is, everyone, all the haters are still waiting for a crash, right? Like, they're all waiting for a crash, but they're not going to be the ones to crash it if they don't own any. Like, the only way
mhm,
you can crash the price is by selling. And people that hate Hex, they're not going to buy it anyway. So, like, I don't see a whole bunch of people selling. Um, in fact, you can like look at the data on like your website and go prove that people are staking for the most part. I mean,
mhm,
even with that big run up, you could expect here. Let's pull it up. You could expect people after the price doubles to emergency unstake, right, and just take profit. Well, that only 4 million hex unstaked, emergency unstaked yesterday, which is relatively not that much out of 400
mhm.
million. So price doubled and only 4 million worth of hex panicked and unstaked. Like, I don't know. That's pretty strong proof right there.
Mhm. It's going to be really interesting. One thing that I like about the system, and I'll probably keep track of in the future, is you can determine like the amount of risk associated at certain price points based on liquid hex, staked hex, and how soon stakes are going to expire. So like the highest risk to the price going up is obviously liquid hex, right? Because that's the only thing that can be sold. So you can kind of like create some sort of risk metric that's like how is the liquid hex looking over time? How close are we to having significant stakes that are going to end? And you can kind of like add these layers of like, okay, these stakes are 5 years out, 10 years out, 20 years out, or I guess you don't go up to 20 years, but you get the
Yeah,
point. Um, and what kind of system exists like that, where you can kind of determine the risk at certain price levels based on
yeah.
supply being
Is that
created in the
is
future?
that possible to do on Hex.vision? Can you get a chart of stake supply versus liquid over time?
Yeah, I think I can put something like that
It would just
out.
be like the ratio, but over time.
Yeah, no, I think I can put something like that out. I definitely have the metrics. That might just be in the private area at the
Yeah,
moment.
it might not look great if if you're a noob and you see it go from like 90% to 30%, but
Uh-huh.
people don't realize that like exchanges need this to be liquid because if you are an
Hmm.
exchange, I mean, you need people to be buying and selling. You can't stake your hex. You can't stake on behalf of other people. Like when you stake your
Hmm.
coins, it has to be you that does it. So we're on what 18 exchanges now, and all
Hmm.
these exchanges are basically liquidity pools. So they've all probably had to buy like a few billion hex just to make sure they have enough for the order books.
Hmm.
So
It's kind of sad that like Uniswap, for example, couldn't allocate a portion of the hex to be staked. I don't know why, but it just feels like it like hurts me a little bit that there's just a huge pool that is, I mean, the likelihood of somebody clearing out the entire pool is not very high. So it just feels like an inefficiency that could be changed. Maybe with like a central, like for example, maybe a centralized exchange has in their cold wallet, they could just stake 50% of their hex or something along those
yeah,
lines. Because when you're trading on the centralized exchanges, it's just like moving a number across databases. You're not actually moving tokens
yeah,
around. So that'll be interesting if they ever implement something like that.
that
But
would be cool.
something I've thought about.
A talk hex has a tough question. How do you factor in, if at all, the amount of liquid hex owned by the OA? I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, right? Like liquid hex owned by the OA. I don't keep track of it, but I could. I can go to Firebun's site and go check it out. But I just I don't. It doesn't bother me too much day to day. I think wherever the OA, whatever the OA ends up doing with the liquid funds, is going to be good for the project. and I'm not, no expectations and all that, blah blah blah. But I just don't see it being a problem. Uh,
Yeah. The way that I look at it is the OA is the strongest player on our team. Um, so whatever liquid hex he has is probably allocated for a certain purpose. And you can just speculate what the purpose might be at a certain time depending on,
mhm.
conditions. Um, so I would probably subtract the OA's liquid hex from the total amount of liquid hex as something that's like if I'm trying to calculate certain risk levels, because no offense, guys, but I don't trust you or any of you over there.
Yeah, we can't even trust each
So
other.
I trust me and I trust the OA, and I kind of trust the other creators that are like putting their time in and you know want the project to succeed. But you guys out there, I don't know that I trust you. You might don't.
It's a really good point. It's a really good counterpoint
Yeah.
too. Is like, how do you know what the OA will do? How do I know what you'll do? like,
Uh,
like we don't know what any of us are gonna do. But when it comes to having skin in the game, just naturally that phenomenon of putting your money where your mouth is makes people act in favor of what they own. Like if I buy
mm,
a bunch of Bitcoin, I'm not going to go out and say bad things about Bitcoin. If I buy, anything that I buy that I like, that I keep, like I'm not going to go out and trash talk it and try to make the price go down. So I mean, it's just purely logical in that sense.
mm.
I don't get why it's really that controversial. But everyone likes to make controversy, and I think we're
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. Like I'd say generally the way that people think about it, if you're on the outside looking in, is like that's just 100% going to be used to enrich the founder.
it's like sure,
Um,
yeah, probably.
and that could be the case, and maybe it does. I hope it does. I mean, this project is like insanely good.
Well, it's like
So that's okay with me if they do that. But I mean, they are showing their hand by how they're allocating their stack. So how they're allocating it right now is increasing market cap and sending some stakes out long term. I mean, that's the best thing they could probably be doing as far as like free. That costs nothing for them to increase the market cap that way.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Personally, I think they're the least incentivized to sell, but do you account for this unknown in your strategies? Yeah, I don't really have like a crazy like I haven't I don't have like this strategy that I've given all this thought to. Like I'm just staking it for and trying to time the bull market and then leaving some
Mm,
left over for a perpetual like income machine. But it's not really like I've been thinking about it too much. Like the nice thing about Hex is that you don't have to think about it a lot. Like you can just stake it and then forget
mm,
about it. Like so, you know, I don't always watch the price every day. Obviously, I did yesterday because it went up 90%. But like, yeah, one of the good things about it is that your strategy doesn't have to be that great. As long as you're staking, you're gonna get the benefits from it. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's unlike other tokens because I don't have a trading strategy. I upfront, my trading strategy was to accumulate as much as early and as fast as I
hmm
could. And then it's just about like, okay, where do I think the market could be in the future? And trying to align that with when my stakes will be expiring. Um, and then you just kind of push your comfort level of like how big and how long can I actually go? And then you just like uh, since I'm not pumping any more, I'm not really actively pumping any more money into Hex, uh, but I'm trying to help the system in other ways that, like, for example, uh, like the charting site. And I've been working with CoinMarketCap like for a long
oh,
time
nice.
to try and get us verified on there. Uh, I got us on Coin Paprika. They like didn't track Uniswap at all, so I got them added on there. And I came up with how to calculate the liquidity. Uh, so this is like pretty tangent. Like I'm on a tangent, but this is kind of interesting. So Uniswap has that automated market maker function that it uses, and you can create a synthetic order book by basically like plotting in different buy orders and like figuring out what that curve looks like. So I was able to do that and provide it to Coin Paprika, and that's why that liquidity metric shows up there now.
Holy shit.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole community, you guys should all donate to Firebun because he is literally pumping your bags more than most
Dude,
people.
I'm pumping my bags
I
too.
know.
That's the cool
Yeah.
thing is I pump my bags and you guys get your stuff
Oh
pumped
my
too.
god.
So we're all it's just a pump party, man. It's like everybody just pitch in a little bit. And we'll get to the promised land
Yeah,
together.
man. You gotta pump it up. Who are you talking to at who are you talking to at CoinMarketCap? Do you know
uh
anyone?
so I mean there's like the general support people like Jay and Wilbert. I hit up them a lot. I basically whenever I see us get a new exchange, I hit them up and get them added to the list of markets. The other thing I've been working on is like, how do we get verified over there?
Hmm.
So I took like a really close look at um, the requirements, and I looked at other coins in the top 200 to see if there's any discrepancies between like what Hex has and what they have.
Yep.
Um, and for a while, it was like, okay, we don't have enough exchanges. Okay, we got that. We don't have enough liquidity. Okay, we got that now. Um, I think the last thing, and this is like tinfoil hat theory, is they have these data, is the acronym, exchanges where I don't know specifically what kind of agreement they have set up, uh, but I think that those exchanges might be heavier weighted when it comes to getting Hex verified. And I'm not certain. That's like just a theory at the moment.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is when you try and ask them what's missing, it's they give you a response similar to like what Google would tell you if you ask them why am I not number one search result. Like they don't want tokens to game the
Yeah.
system, so they have set up certain um, I guess guidelines that they don't publicize.
Is one of those guidelines
Well, yeah,
just like time? Like, doesn't it just have to exist for like a longer period of time?
I don't know. I get worried that like time is not good because what happens when Coin Market Cap adds us and we're like top 10 already? Like I don't know how that'll look for
Oh,
them.
for them? Yeah. Like, how did you ignore
Yeah,
this for so long?
and then you just like jump
Yeah.
like to the first page at the top of the
Yeah.
page.
Yeah. I don't
So
know. Actually,
yeah,
I
so I
applied for a job there because
did
yeah,
you
they
really?
just got acquired by Binance, and I noticed they were hiring a bunch of like product managers, and so I applied there, and I'm like, if I could go in there and start working for them, maybe I could change some stuff around. But they haven't got back to me yet, guys. But
That's one
yeah,
way. I mean, that's one way to go
yeah,
about it for
it'd be kind of
sure.
cool to work there too, right? For a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I applied to Coinbase in like
Oh, dude, it's
2015.
pretty tough to get in there. They,
Yeah, I got like rejected right at the
I
front.
feel like they only hire
So,
their Ivy League buddies, man. Like it's tough. I don't know where you went to
probably.
school, but it's like a very tight knit circle over there, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're making good money. So,
Oh yeah, they deserve it. I mean, whatever. But they did do some questionable stuff for Bitcoin with Bitcoin Cash, but
oh
that
yeah.
was, I mean, that was just a trading thing. I think that a bunch of
Oh yeah.
insiders profited off Bitcoin Cash.
Oh yeah. So, I have an interesting story
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
go for it.
Um, so that was during my BitMEX days. I mean, obviously I wouldn't trade on BitMEX because I'm in the United States, but if I did, um, so maybe I was looking at the exchange that day, uh, and Bitcoin Cash just started spiking out of nowhere on BitMEX, and then like 15 minutes later, they released the news that it was added to
Oh
Coinbase.
yeah,
Some of that insider profiting for
oh
sure
yeah,
happened that day.
yeah. You think it's a bunch of people that just had really good timing? Like no, no way.
No. I remember seeing it pump and being like, wow, this is really unusual. And like you're always looking for like why things pump,
Yep.
but sometimes there's just like you don't. I mean, there's things going on that you don't know, and you'll never
Yep.
know.
But that was the most blatant insider trading I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, only in crypto, man. All right, we got any questions in the chat here? Hex is still pretty cheap. Early days, yeah, for sure. Definitely early. It's less than 5 months old.
Yeah,
Roger
it's crazy, man.
Roger Ver was a bit uncomfortable about being linked to Hex. Um, Yeah, a lot of people are uncomfortable about the topic. I mean, it seems to be like nobody wants their name to be tarnished by another scam. And I feel like
Mhm.
so many people have been wrecked by like the coin that they loved in 2017. And nobody wants that to happen to them again, because I get it, it's a bad feeling. Like you feel like you just got like raped basically. Like you put so much time and money into something and then you lost everything. So nobody wants to be a part of another scam. I get that. um, I have a pretty high bullshit radar, I would say. And I don't know, I mean, I can't reason my way out of Hex. Like I can't. Like, what do you think about that? What do you think about the people being uncomfortable with it?
I mean, you got to know the risk associated with it. Um, and just like any other coin, it can go to zero. I mean, I'm in, and I hope it doesn't, and I don't think it will, but it can. So don't put anything in that you're not willing to just watch disappear just in
Yeah,
case.
I should mention that right now. It's not like I
Um,
put my life savings into Hex. Like I put
uh,
maybe 10% of all, and that's a lot
mhm.
relative for me. I don't know whatever your risk tolerance is, but yeah.
I mean, I'm a moon boy, so my risk tolerance is probably a little higher than yours. So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I don't have very many expenses, and I make decent money,
Yeah, I mean
so
it's a good time to
I,
be.
I I'm not taking any massive risks that'll like set me back or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think
I got skin in the game.
you gotta. It's all about skin in the game, man.
Uh,
Put your money where your mouth is. So I say that over and over, but like it really, what you own like speaks volumes about what your incentives are and what you care about. Um, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, risk tolerance. Like, I think a lot of people would think I'm an idiot too if they saw how much of my net worth was allocated to crypto. It's like
mm,
almost all of it. Um,
yeah,
so whatever. I'm young. You're young. We're both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking about net worth and being tied to crypto and that sort of thing, just to interject, make sure you guys are taking care of your private
Yeah.
keys. Uh, these small stacks can turn into very large stacks, and you don't want those at risk. So definitely would recommend a hardware wallet if you guys don't have them already. I'm like straight. I got my private keys printed on steel,
Nice.
so
I,
like
I know that company.
no, so there was Cold Bit that I saw. I just got like a random one off of
Oh.
Amazon. There are quite a bit actually.
Hmm.
Um, so it's very important to take it seriously. People get hacked all the time. So just because it's not a large amount right now doesn't mean it won't be a large amount in the future, especially if you're staking for an extended amount of time. So definitely make sure you're considering your security uh, seriously
Yeah.
right now, especially
And,
at the
and you
beginning.
can split them up too. By the way, I got my show link for Ledger hardware wallet in the description below, so go click on that if you don't have one already. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's good to have more than one as well.
Yep, for
And
sure.
yeah, have you ever lost any crypto or any ever got hacked or anything?
I have not. I haven't. I'm pretty good about not leaving things on exchanges like historically, so I never was affected by any exchange hacks or anything like that. Um, yeah, I haven't had any cases like that. The only time where I lost money was by my own doing.
Yeah, same here, man. Same. I'm my own worst enemy, so I got to make sure I don't
Yeah.
steal from myself. Um,
Yeah, a cool idea that I saw somebody in the chat post the other day was about putting time capsules with your ledger or private keys in there. But I was like, you're gonna need at least two capsules, split the private key into both,
yeah.
and then have a backup set too. So four, just send out four capsules, random places, and then reap the rewards in like 10 years.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this all to be like on the moon, literally. Hex in 3 months
Uh,
past my 15-year 401k contribution. Yeah, man. That's what crypto can do. It's the fastest appreciating asset class in all of
Seriously,
history.
yeah. I mean, it's funny to see 401k go down and Hex like go up significantly at the same
Yeah,
time. That like just blows my
yeah.
mind.
Let's see. I have two ledgers. Good for you, Archie. The Alipple Aleppo Titans are among some of the best hardware wallets. I've never heard of the Aleppo Titans.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either. Ledger for
Yeah, I'm
me.
a Ledger guy.
Did you so there's a way to verify your ledger when you got it. Did you do that by chance?
I did it for the first one. I haven't done it
Okay.
on subsequent ones, but fuck, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna write that down.
So I actually like I'm like impatient. So I got mine off of like I think I got mine off of Amazon and like you want to make sure you're not getting a hacked
Oh yeah,
ledger. So they have a guide about like cracking it open, verifying the chip looks right, making sure like the wiring and the glue looks all right and hasn't been tampered with. And then you can execute some Python. I think it's Python code. You plug in your ledger and you can execute the Python code. I think they have it in GitHub, and it just like verifies that it's a legitimate ledger that hasn't been tampered
yeah,
with. Would recommend that. I mean, that's taking it a little far, but you know, when small money turns into big money, you don't want to be on the side of like having your private keys somehow
yeah. I
compromised.
mean, especially if you bought it online, that not from the website.
Mm,
Like if you bought it from Amazon, like that could be anybody selling you that. So be
mm.
careful.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Archie said the ledger is a bit clunky, but I'm used to it.
Yeah,
So I was getting my friend into it, and he got a ledger, and he was having problems with it. I was like, dude, did you do the incantation? So like part of the trouble that I've had is like I feel like I unplug, plug in, restart, try it again, and then it's just like I do like the ledger incantation out loud, and it's like left, left, right, right, up, down, here, whatever the Konami code is. But I swear, you got to just give it the. You have to will it to
yeah.
work with
You got to give
MetaMask
it.
sometimes when you're staking.
Yeah, you got to have that magic touch. I mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I've had to like restart the
I,
whole thing. I've had to re-download the extension before because it just got totally fucked up, and I'm like, all right,
I I would equivalent it to if you guys ever had like a Nintendo 64 or Super Nintendo when you gotta like blow into the cartridge and then just hit it just right.
yeah,
You know, like there are people that can just turn on a Nintendo 64 game at will on the first try.
that's so
And
funny.
that's, you gotta just have the
Yeah,
touch.
man.
Gotta have the touch.
Just everyone's gonna be blowing on their ledger now.
Yeah.
Bro, we need big exchanges. Yeah, I think we've already got some pretty big exchanges, but
Dude, people talk about exchanges all the
it'll,
time. The exchanges are actual shit. Like,
yeah,
use Uniswap. It's so good. And take as little amount of time on the exchanges as you can to get your ETH and then put it on your hardware wallet because like actually those exchanges are not good.
yeah. I mean, the exchanges will come. Like the exchanges will lag.
Yeah, they'll
It'll lag
come.
the price. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not going to be exchanges first then price. It's going to be price then exchange, because the exchange is going to be like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
missing out now. So
not even price, but like time also. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 months. Like, give it, let it breathe, man.
yeah, yeah. Since you're talking about Ledger, can I get my Ledger to work with MetaMask? Yeah, you can get it to work with MetaMask. When you start it up and you open a new account on MetaMask, you just link hardware wallet. It's a big
Hmm.
button. Pretty straightforward. Any additional actions for MetaMask safety? I don't know. You know what you can do?
I mean, I haven't got deep into MetaMask security, but as far as I'm aware, if your computer is compromised, then your MetaMask is as good as compromised, especially if it's not on a hardware wallet. So make sure you take like your computer security seriously. If you have any suspicions of like being hacked, then just like do a reset on Windows. I mean, it's just I don't mess around when it comes to security like that. So um, just yeah, make sure your computer isn't compromised.
Yeah.
And if you think it might be, that's the problem too. Is like if you start a stake on MetaMask, you either have to take the same private key and use that on your hardware wallet, or emergency end stake and send it somewhere else that is more secure. So it's better to do that stuff up front and make sure you're secure for your holdings that are going to be there for years.
Yeah. Yeah, every time the more I think about security, like the more paranoid I get. So like I try to like make sure I get it all my ducks in a row. But
Mm-hmm.
man, it's a scary thought. like the fact that we have control over our own wealth. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't even want to get in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Take it
take
seriously,
it
guys.
seriously.
Get hardware
Yeah,
wallets. I mean, you shouldn't be relying on your computer not to be compromised for like essentially your bank
yep.
to be safe.
Are Chromebooks
Like
secure?
I don't I don't
I don't know.
I don't know about Chromebooks. I would assume they're just as susceptible to any sort of malware, keyloggers, or that sort of thing. So
Yeah, he is uncomfortable.
sorry, excuse me.
It's all good. All right, guys. If you got any questions in chat, we're at the hour mark, so I'm ready to take questions. Yeah, if you guys have anything at all, let me know. Who made Hex.live? Do you know who made that?
No, that site is
It's
sweet
so
though.
good.
I use that site a lot. It's beautiful,
So
man.
good.
Steph, if you're out there, good stuff, man.
Yeah. Oh, so you've got a referral link, right? It's on Kabana.
Yeah, if you just go to the homepage, or if you go to the chart, the uniswap.hex.vision chart, I have a donate link, and I made the donate link actually uh, do a send from Uniswap. So if you donate, it'll be ETH that gets that gets transacted into Hex. So you're going to be supporting the price if you donate to me through Ethereum,
Wow,
because I would be converting it into Hex anyways.
that's
So
badass.
just that for what it's worth.
The
Yeah.
donation address is automatically converted to Hex.
Yeah, for me.
Incredible.
So feel free to do that. You help everyone and help yourself in some
Have
way.
you checked how many referral like bonuses you've got so far?
Yeah, I keep an eye on my referrals. I don't do it for the referrals.
Yeah.
They're just like if I get them, that's great. But I kind of just make this stuff because I want
Hmm.
it, and I know that the community could probably use it too, and it just seems to be that way. Uh, so I don't keep that close of an eye on it, but yeah, they've been doing all right. It's not like I'd say I'm probably about even on the costs of running the different things that I'm running.
That's good. Yeah, you got to keep that website up
Hmm.
for sure. Let's check the chat. What do you got for us? Anything good? Great channel. Thanks, man. 25 million DeFi hack. Oh yeah, there was a hack in Uniswap actually. Uniswap was
Mm-hmm.
hacked because they used an ERC7 whatever token.
777, I think it
Yeah, I've
was.
never heard of that protocol.
If you actually did you read the article that was linked
Yeah, but
to?
there wasn't much technical information. It was more so just like they hacked a liquidity pool by cloning by like spoofing it or something.
Yeah, that's about what I got. But the other interesting part to it was that the exploit was revealed in an audit like 16
Yeah.
months beforehand. So somebody like kind of shot themselves in the foot,
Yeah.
whoever was providing liquidity in that pool, because like it was a known risk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good to see people get their money lost, but it makes me feel better that the audits are catching things like that before they occur.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better about like the RC20 tokens that we have in the liquidity pool.
Yeah. It gives a lot of validity to the audit. And if they should have probably read that, but I mean, shit happens. I've got stakes
Mm-hmm.
all over 1 million for 5 days. Good for you.
Full send, baby.
You're a hero. Kabana is great. Yeah, I agree. We've got the man right here. Uh,
Thank you.
to get the 15% bonus, you need to stake 150 million. Yeah, yeah. That's why hexpool.win. You can pool your stake together to get that sweet, sweet big payday bonus, or bigger pays better. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man. All right.
Yeah. So I guess one of the things that I I'll just say is like something that I'd like to see eventually is so we have the Uniswap chart and it looks good, but I'd like to add enhancements to that. So I'm just gonna this is what has like been on my mind is like what I want to get
Mm-hmm.
done. Uh, I think it'd be really cool to have like transactions streaming in there, where like on the right panel it would like stream in the latest transactions, the address, and the
Hmm.
size. I think that'd be really cool. The other thing that I want to add is notifications. The my previous experience was using CoinGecko for price notifications, and it's not like a moving percentage or a sliding
Mm.
percentage. So you got to just keep resetting the alert over and over. So I guess that's those are the two things that I would like to see on the charting side at some point, and maybe that'll materialize. But I'm looking at that, and I really want to get verified on CoinMarketCap. So
Yeah.
I'm talking to them like every
Yeah,
day.
let me know if there's
Uh,
anything I can do to help on that, because I don't know
okay.
if if two people is better than one, but I can help provide data and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just we need to be careful about like hitting them up too much. I like have concerns that like they explicitly say they like don't want to be spammed. So I just want to like, you know, give them space, but like please get us verified as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
please, sir.
Please, sirs.
Um, oh,
But yeah, that's all I got.
Reddit ETH trader. Somebody bought another banner. Pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That is so
So I didn't
sick.
even. I bought the
The
first one and we got we got outbid very quickly. But
uh
somebody, it looks like, added another one. So it's pretty awesome. I'm waiting for it to load right now, but it's not loading. Hmm.
huh. Interesting.
Is there any more? Could this be more fuckery of people taking it down?
I don't know. Let's maybe hit it with a refresh again one more time for sanity
All
purposes.
right. I mean, maybe it's just taking a long time to load, but I saw the banner this morning. It was like
Yeah,
purple
same.
or something.
I was so happy. That's because like I mean, we got a few powerful things for marketing purposes for Hex, and that is coin market cap, or not coin market cap, but market cap and the charts. And it was cool to see that there was a link to my chart
Oh,
site
that's awesome.
as like part of the banner when I didn't have to like. It's just cool that somebody would do that
Hell yeah.
because it's like good for us, but I didn't have to do it myself, you
Yeah,
know.
love that. It's great when people refer to your shit without you having to even tell them. Like
Uh-huh.
it feels
Oh
good.
yeah, it's totally white on my page. I wonder if they took it down then.
Man,
Round
I
two.
think the mods were actually pretty open to hacks. Like they didn't hate it. But it was just like one guy was making a fuss about it, which actually probably brought more attention to it. So thank you to
Mhm.
that guy.
Uh-huh.
Um, oh, there's a top announcement in here saying that the daily rate for the banner is increasing 100%. So maybe
Oh
they
wow.
couldn't pay for it anymore. Maybe they just couldn't afford it.
Huh. Yeah, that could be.
Um, I mean,
Oh, I just went on it incognito and it's totally showing up. That's so
huh,
weird.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, hit refresh again, see if it works.
Okay. Let's go back.
I'm not sure how you got yours to be high resolution.
Oh,
This
yeah.
this one looks like it got a little distorted.
Yeah, well, they make you do some ridiculous like pixelation. Like it had to be 4000 px by 128, so that it works on like all screen sizes. So in order to make that, I had to like really zoom in and make it really wide.
Uh,
So they probably just didn't make it
gotcha.
wide enough.
I
Yeah,
see.
it's getting cut off too,
But yeah.
but whatever.
But yeah, there it is.
Beautiful.
Boom, boom,
And now
baby.
people are gonna go see 100% price increase in the past day. So that's even. I mean,
The chart looks
I
so good,
know. And the
man.
market, it like it markets itself. The price speaks for itself.
Exactly.
But then you,
This feels like 2017 again to me.
I
Like
know.
just that feeling of like,
It's
you
like
know,
when you just know it's gonna happen, like the anticipation.
well, I just remember 2017 feeling very euphoric at certain times, and like
Yeah, I, remember-
that's what it's felt like in the past couple of days
I
for
would be like,
sure.
I'd be like rolling around on my couch, just like high on my mad gains. Like I
Yeah,
just.
dude, the gains. You can't. Yeah, there's no escaping the gains, guys.
If you haven't felt it before, now's the best time. Now's the best
Oh,
time.
for sure.
You want to be on the train when it leaves the station.
Yeah. I'm gonna be on the game train, guys.
All aboard. Coin market crappy is wrong on Hex. Yeah, we know. We know. Coin market crap. Banner visible for me. Yeah, it's visible now. I think it just lagged.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea why it didn't work, but it's working
What do you
now.
think the impact of getting on CMC will have? It's just going to be another burst of energy, of economic energy, because like
Yeah.
you got all the people that visit there for their information, and they're going to find out about how great Hex is.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely greater than zero. So the thing about it is like once we're on CoinMarketCap, I think it's gonna people are gonna be seeing it for the first time that haven't seen it before. It's so I mean you would suspect that there's gonna be people getting in and it's not gonna result in selling for some reason. They're not gonna be like, oh, we're on CoinMarketCap. I better go sell my bag that I already held and push price down. Like I mean ultimately we'll start seeing some nice gains from there. And then I also think it kind of legitimizes Hex a little bit further. I would like to see it on CoinGecko, and I they never reply, man. I worked with them one time, and I have an open request with them to add like 10 new exchanges and to update the circulating supply. But I think getting on the exchanges like across the board will legitimize Hex further for sure. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's just a free, untapped marketing
Yeah,
that we have available.
hell yeah, man. What color Lambo are you
Mhm.
gonna buy?
Dude, I was thinking like electric blue.
That's
But in all honesty, if I was gonna purchase a vehicle, I don't think I'd be a Lambo boy. I'd be like a probably a fully spec'd top of the line
oh
Tesla
man,
with autopilot
I
for
was gonna say
sure.
the exact same thing. I
Thank
feel
God.
like there's a there's a very specific type that gets involved in crypto. We're like
Uh-huh.
the persona of every moon
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. The Cybertruck, it's real. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody just said that in the chat. Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh. The tech in those cars, I mean, the automated driving and the tech, that's and the speed. I mean, what else could you ask for, you know?
Yeah, man. Legalize Brazil. Should we start collecting more money for future ads? Yeah, actually, in my video descriptions, I always have an Ethereum address that you can donate to. I'm running an ad campaign right now, and if we want to keep it going for indefinitely, we can do that as long as we have the money. So I'm spending about $600 a month on ads, and right now we've got enough to last us like 3 more months. But if you want to donate, feel free, guys. Anyone can
Yeah.
donate. Crypto only, Ethereum only, preferably.
Yeah. And not only that, but if you don't have money to donate or you're using it for Hex, I mean, there are other things that you can do to just participate, even if it's just like being present in the Hex crypto Telegram channel. I mean, that's we're getting a lot of people in there asking questions. Um, I think it's important to just have a presence like across different platforms. So just like participate. Like I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah,
We're already on our
yeah,
way.
yeah. Answering questions is like a lot of the a lot of the noob handling stuff can be done by you guys because you guys are experts.
Hmm.
Crypto is future freedom. No Lambos. Yeah, yeah. I know. I'm just the Lambo is like the big joke, but like I don't really even want one
Yeah,
that bad. Like think about
I
how much money
don't.
it would be to just take care of it.
Yeah, I think the point is like I could
Yeah,
get that though. That's where I want to be.
yeah,
It's like I could get that. I could get a couple
yeah.
of
I want to be
Lambos,
able
you
to
know.
shop for them.
You want to have that Lambo
Yeah,
money, but maybe not the Lambo in
yeah,
person.
absolutely. I need to get some ETH for more hacks, so we'll try to donate a little. Yeah, if you anything you can would help, but I totally understand if you want to just stake your hacks too. I mean, that helps. That helps the
Yeah,
price just as much as anything else.
seriously. Yeah, like just buying is good. I mean, you're supporting the community. But if you can't buy, just know that there's other things that you can do without paying
Yeah,
anything. That could just be like following on Twitter, replying to different threads,
yeah,
talking to different Telegram channels. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do for free. And I think just having the presence on those platforms will be
yeah.
important.
I mean, you've got people like that Flavio guy or like Paxson or Hexcrow that you just see him on like
Mm.
all the social media channels, and it's like nice, like they're out there just supporting it or whatever. And it's nice to see a lot of hardcore fans. There's probably like 50 people that regularly contribute to all the social channels, and those are like your high your high impact users, right? Like your super users. Because you've got a lot of people that just lurk too, that don't really add any value, and they're just maybe they're just waiting to see if it's a scam or not and all that.
Mm.
But help those people, help those lurkers get out of the shadows and realize, help them see the light. Um, we definitely sound like a cult, by the way, but
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. One thing to add is like, guys, like, let's be level headed about it too. Like, we want people to join. We don't want people to like hate us, right? We're trying to like create a good community of like more members and just get more people on board. And I don't think like having people hate you is is a good way to go about that, although it might feel good at times to just like shove a chart in somebody's face.
yeah, yeah, that vindication, man. Everyone's gonna have their day where they can be vindicated. You already can.
Yeah.
Like you already, if anyone that called Hex a scam in the past 2 months, like show them the chart. And
Yep.
don't say anything. Just send them the chart. Just send them a picture and don't say anything. Uh, Dude, even the name Hex is a winner. I mean, yeah, it's a cool name. 3 letters. It's easy to remember. Cybertruck camper is what I want. Yeah, me,
Oh my
me too,
god.
man. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh my
It's okay.
gosh.
It's okay. Archie, I'm not saying it's bad to be a lurker. I'm a lurker in a lot of chats, but and I'm kind of a lurker in Hex chat too. But you know that there's other lurkers out there that are like just waiting for something like bad to happen. You know, there's people that want to see Hex do bad, and yeah, it's not going to. They're gonna waste their time. Like I haven't seen a scam article come out in quite a while. In fact, I think a few people have changed their tone a little bit. Um, yeah, so
Yeah, I think what we're gonna see is like Hex is just gonna stick around. The price is gonna keep doing what it's doing, and once you've been around for so long, it's like how do you just keep like denying it? You know,
yeah,
once people see that it has staying power, I think that'll incentivize more people to get on board.
yeah. I mean, you're just gonna hear the same thing though over and over. So get ready for 2 more years of I don't
Oh
like
yeah,
Richard Hart. He's gonna dump the price.
it's okay.
Richard Hart banned me.
So that's the price that we pay for games, guys. It's okay.
He's really, really good at being like the enemy, though. He's really good at playing the villain. But he's a good dude. I mean, he owns it. Like he owns the. He handles trolling in the best way possible, which is like just to admit it. Like, there's nothing better than when someone calls you like an exit scammer, and then he's like, "Yeah, I am an exit scammer. I exited the scam of U.S. dollars." Like, you know what I mean? It's like you take what they say and then you
uh,
flip it around on them. He's a smart guy. He's good at talking, for sure.
mhm.
Community is all
Yeah.
that matters. Our age can be a bit difficult. LOL. Uncomfortable to watch sometimes. Yeah, the only one that was uncomfortable for me was the Peter McCormick interview. Because it was painful to see Peter like really act like that. But then Richard went
Mm.
off on him. I don't know. To me, it was entertaining, but I can see
Yeah.
how it's off-putting when if someone's coming in for the first time and they're like, "Oh, that's the guy that made this coin." But
Mhm.
99% of what he says is very well spoken and intelligent.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes he'll drop an N bomb. LOL.
Yeah. So just that's a side note right now. Sometimes yep, this is true.
I love it, man. I think it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, he's real. He's
yeah,
real.
you don't see that a lot.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I know. I like that. Yeah, he's just himself. 1 or 2 more whales join in, and the scam BS will be over. Yeah, I mean, it maybe. I think the scam BS is going to be going on for a long time. Uh, not,
Yeah. People can hate us all the way to number one. It doesn't.
yeah,
When you're on the inside, it feels different than when you're on the outside looking in. That's for
yep.
sure.
I mean, people hate Bitcoin, so non-crypto people hate crypto. Non Bitcoin people hate anything that's not Bitcoin. So low vibrations, low energy. Yeah, man, low vibes. Definitely not good chakras for these haters need their chakras aligned. We have no price expectations. Okay, I guess yeah, we have no expectations. It's designed well. That's about it.
Yep.
Did you know the CD market is 7.2 trillion? Yes, I did. And with 600 billion tokens, if it captured the 7.2 trillion, I think that would put it at $35, which is like, I
Oh
mean,
my
yeah.
gosh.
So let's talk about fractions. If it captures 1/10 of the CD market, that's $3.50. If it captures 1/100th, that's 35 cents. So think about how awesome it would be for Hex to capture 1/100th of the CD market. It would already put it at 35 cents, which I'm sure would make you guys all pretty happy campers. Um, yeah, I'm just reading chat. It'll be amazing if it goes all the way up. What is all the way up? Like, yeah, all the way. Yeah, it will. It will be amazing. $36. Okay, yeah, I was off by it.
Dude, if it went to 36, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I do.
Uh,
Probably lose all sensations in my
yeah,
body.
I would just go into a coma.
Yeah. Definitely out of body experience for
Yeah,
sure.
there's no drug that can compare to the drug of mad gains.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun, man. You got any questions for me? I think the chat's getting a little dry.
Uh, Not really, man. I just like, I've been following you and I like your videos and what your video yesterday just kind of struck a chord with me and I thought it'd be cool to chat since I mean, we're we're like in this thing
Dude, we are
together.
we are the
So,
stereotypical image of moon boys. I love it. I love it.
dude, I don't care, man. Full send,
No, yeah,
baby.
it's a good thing. Fuck yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still gonna send it. Um, so, but you're a developer. I'm more on the product side. I can get a little technical, but I feel like that's your edge. I don't really have the. I wouldn't know where to start
Yeah.
for half that stuff, but
Yeah, funny enough, I'm actually like not a Solidity dev at all, so I can't like write contracts or anything like that. I just know how
oh,
to
but
read information from
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
if you can read
I literally
JavaScript,
just learned how to do that for Hex. I'll do it too.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, crypto's been it's forced me to get more technical. Like I've learned command line and like all this stuff because I needed to run clients by myself. Like I've learned a lot of computer science skills that I kind of knew about, but crypto forced me to kind of learn more. Um, yeah, Unreal. The numbers are real. Yes, yes, they are. Yeah, man. I think we could probably wrap up pretty soon. It's been an hour 20. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I
chat's
think
drying
so.
up. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, it was
We'll do it
fun, man.
again, I'm sure. And then I got another one coming out later today with Hexologist, RG3, and Litecoin Moses. So we're gonna do a podcast every week on Sunday. And for anyone watching, anyone listening, if you want to come on and just talk about whatever, it doesn't even have to be Hex. Like we could talk about whatever you want. Um, I'd also really like to debate somebody that doesn't like Hex. I think that'd be fun. But I doubt they're gonna want to show their face on the internet because they're gonna look stupid. Um, yeah, that's it, guys. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep. All right. Take it easy, guys. See ya. See you, Matt.
See you later, man.
All right. Bye, everyone.